Hi there, this is Darren from Treasure Life Family Farms, and today we're going to do a little exhaust work on the 2013 Ford F-150. With a it's got the EcoBoost 3.5 liter dual twin turbo, I think is what they call it when you look that up online, if that's you. Our problem is this piece underneath was probably a different brand and even a little bit different size. We'll see about that, but it separated and broke and came apart right here. So I'll show you underneath there what that sort of starts to mean. But we got to take the old one out of its place. Between these two parts, about 50 bucks worth. I'm hoping I can get this thing back together. And if I can't, I probably wasted the 50 bucks, so I'll have these non-returnable by the time I figure it out. And the shop that I got an estimate was $250 to do this job, so it's probably worth taking a stab at it, seeing if I have the skills. I'll show you underneath what is broken and how I'm planning to fix it theoretically, and then we'll get to work. All right, we're under the pickup, and hopefully we can see all this. Looks blurry. Maybe it's me. That's not useful. Well, we'll see. So anyways, what can I stick this to? All right, so this is the problem. It's rotted away or whatever right here at the seam, and this is done. So I want to replace this, and I think I can cut this here right after this weld joint here, whatever this is, and then this will be 2.5 inch outside diameter. Down here, I am 100% sure I'm not getting this clamp off without just grinding the bolt, so they'll probably just send the grinder wheel through there, get this clamp off. Hopefully all this can get knocked apart. I'm going to take the bolts out of this carrier over here on the frame, hopefully. Like I say, everything's pretty dang rusty under here. And once this carrier's out of the way, this whole thing, hopefully I can get this to bang out of here. And then we start coming back with those other new parts. So let me get to work on that, and I'll give you updates as I can make some progress. Alright, here's a bit of a quick update. So this was welded onto the piece of pipe that we're getting rid of. There's a support bracket down to about there. And now when you bolt the rubber piece up that this goes through to the frame, there's only really one place to put those bolts. And if you do that the way the new exhaust is, there's just nowhere, it comes up short. So we need a couple more inches. So that's what I did here, was just took a bolt same size, cut the threads off, cut the head off, welded it up here, and so this should work now. I'll show you this when we're under there again. A little bit of a shout out to Scott Welker, big leg arms of Shelby, Montana. Just if he happens to ever see this. I grew up in Chester, went to high school in Chester, grew up on a farm in south of Joplin, Montana, and didn't ever know the Welker name back then, but sure is fun to watch your guys' videos. And when Leg Arms needs something, he manufactures it like crazy, and it's fun to watch. and it kind of told me, you know what, hey, just build what you need. So shout out to him. If you don't know their channel on YouTube and various other places, Walker Farms, really neat family. So anyways, we'll go put this back on, or you know, this will be kind of on but not welded on until everything else is in place under there, and then we'll tighten this all up, and then I'll weld this back to the piping so that it does get support from this thing. So next thing you see will be from underneath. All right, let me show you some new stuff coming together here. Okay, so remember all this stuff was stuck on here, and I don't know, everything's blurry. Come on, GoPro. Well, it's probably not gonna focus, sorry. Maybe lower, maybe from back there. I don't know, I can't do it. Okay, so we'll see if it's doing any good. Okay, so this was all jammed together. Let's see. Oh, this one had the little ring on it, and I just cut that with the grinder wheel off. And then this adapter I bought worked perfectly, which is great. This slides into there really nice, and then this bracket I just showed you that I welded up goes around there, and then the big chunk of the exhaust is going to come into there, and then the last thing you do is lift it up into place, and made it up with, there we go, made it up with that little flange there. Put a couple bolts in, and everything's back together. Awesome. Okay, so that's what we're going to do next. The piece that goes in there, we just had to do that because you can't like just spread things out, put all this new stuff in, and then, you know, bring it back together. So we will insert into here, and then, well, actually it'll go on the outside, it'll be OD, and then lift that flange up into there, into, you know, make that back together and put those bolts in, and we are 90% of the way at that point. The last thing to do then will be, because this is all already tight, is just make sure this is supported, and then try to get a couple welds on there. So that's the next thing. Let me get to it, and I'll show you the finished product here in a minute. All right. My welding's terrible, and that's on a good day. And then now I'm under the pickup welding upside down on thin exhaust pipe. Yeah, that was never going to work, just in case anybody was wondering about how that goes. So I've got it all together, I guess. So we've got 2.5 ID to I don't know what this all is. Anyways, we got the right connector there. I cut that at that length, and that worked out perfectly. The new flexible thing is in between. It all fit into this piece here. It slid in there. It's pretty good. Then our clamp went on that. I had to grind the bolt on that last time, so I expect I'll grind the bolt on that next time. And that thing drilled really hard. I burned 3 drill bits trying to drill this thing out so I could get just a regular bolt back in there. Hold my light here. That bolt will rust like crazy. I welded the nut so it can't come loose. Then this is all old original stock. Nothing replaced here. Let me get my light back here. Here's the flange I was talking about. So these 2 bolts were super rusty, but I started turning on them with a long handle wrench, thinking they'll either break or they'll come out, and they did come out, and I used a lot of WD-40 on those. And then I shined them up on the wire wheel, and they went back in really good, nice. So now I've got those tightened back in, but this is just a flange this meets up here. It's kind of dished in this way and dished out over here, and this piece is able to come in, up, and just seat real nice there. Tighten those bolts up, and then come back to the front side where all this stuff is. And this should be good to go now. I'm gonna go climb out of here and go start it up and see what it sounds like. But we should be back in business, and all for about 50 bucks. And honestly, I could have done this in 2 hours straight. It's been a little longer than that because of starting and stopping, and we had dinner and all kinds of stuff. But mostly, yeah, ready to go as far as I can tell. And so let's go give it a try. And I don't expect there to be more because we're done here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video. Like and subscribe. I'd love to have you around. Alright, this had a kind of a ghetto rumble to it when that was disconnected. I could start to hear it a little bit back in the fall, and then recently I knew there was something drastically wrong, and I finally found or figured out what it was. And so then I just drove a trip just shy of 900 miles yesterday and the day before, 2 days, and that rumble in the cab is enough to make you go to town and get the parts and get this thing fixed. So that was then. And there's that was my beautiful assistant. So it had that rumble. Now I'm gonna go start it up post fix. Now let's hear it. I'll leave it right there and let you listen in. Well, there's our what you call post-fix sound. I'm gonna go take it for a drive, and we'll see how it does when we accelerate and things like that. Thanks for watching.